Tony Davis.
Tonie Huizer.
Tony and Tony Show, episode 31.
One. Indeed it is, mate. Indeed it is. 31. And it's kind of a special, I don't know why 31 is a special episode, but it is, isn't it? Because...
It's actually your fault.
Yeah. Well, it is. I know we're going outside the walls of product learning to go inside the walls of Azure. Do you see what I did there? This is not a product learning article. It's a SQL Server Central article. It came about because we were talking about a product learning article where we were showing how to set up a tool on managed cloud services. And we were kind of saying some things you can do if it's just installed on your own machine, like set configuration and changes and that, you can't actually do in these cloud services because they control that, not you.
True.
And you have written a little series of articles about, well, where are the lines between what they control in the platform as a service and what you can get away with?
Well, so finally, an article with my name on it.
It is a Tonie Huizer article. I should have said that right at the front. It is a Tonie article on SQL Server Central, a triptych.
Yeah. And you hinted it in the last episode. So, and we said episodes before that we wanted to try out other content. So why not the safe SQL Server Central? Because it's a safe place. It's also a little bit related to Redgate. So why not do this little small step? And it just happened to be my article.
Yeah. But it's an interesting, it's not the sort of article you read every day because you're kind of like, you've got your slightly hacky developer hat on. You've like, what can I do? What can't I do? And exactly, yeah. You're like, well, how does this thing actually work under the covers? And what can I do and what can't I do? And you're you're basically having a poke around, which is, and it's interesting what you learn.
So this little diagram shows you the offerings Microsoft Azure has to offer when it comes to SQL Server. So you can just run a SQL Server VM and SQL Server on it, and you will manage the VM. And
so that's kind of fully managed by you.
Yeah, this is self-managed. So on the left-hand side,
yeah.
And you call it infrastructure as a service. And on the far right side, fully managed, you have Azure SQL. So you just get your SQL Server database, and you don't have to worry about a thing.
Nothing.
But somewhere in the middle, Microsoft created something called Azure SQL Managed Instance.
Yes.
And actually, the product name says it all. It's a managed instance by the Azure team, but it's a SQL instance, so you can do everything, almost everything, you can do on a regular SQL Server image.
There you go.
And I was actually a bit curious what I can do with it. How far can I go? And so,
I know. I believe the answer.
What really runs this thing?
I do. Yeah.
So my first hook was, can I do my cloning adventure, which was my first article ever on a public website on SQL Server Central, where I mimicked or actually did a do-it-yourself SQL clone version of the Redgate tool.
Yes, can I do DIY clones on Azure Managed Instance? Will that actually work?
Yeah, well, that was my hook. So
curiosity, yeah.
Yeah, so they provide you with this free offering, so you can try Azure SQL Managed Instance for free for a year with 64 gigs of database storage. Yeah. And I thought if I could do my cloning trick, I can enlarge this by, well, not unlimited, but by at least the double.
Ah, okay. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but for that to work, I had to have access to some operation system console or level.
Yes, because the cloning works at kind of the Windows operation level, operation system level. So there's some things you're going to have to do at that level. And it sounds on the surface of it like you shouldn't be able to.
No,
but is that true? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't be able, but I was able. And that's all in part 1, and I won't spoil it too much, but XP.
Well, you weren't able to clone. So
No,
that
I
did
wasn't.
hold true. You wasn't able to clone, but you
No.
were in the process of exploring that and finding that out. You were able to do some things that were quite surprising.
Yeah.
Running PowerShell scripts you thought maybe would fail.
Yeah. Well,
And you tell that story as you scroll down. Yeah.
Yeah, I got access.
And there's some. Yeah, go on, sorry.
I got access first. I'm very enthusiastic about it.
Yeah. Go on. Tell the story.
Yeah. So I got access to the container where this MI thing is living in, and I got full access. I could do everything with it. So I could execute the program list, and this is the example of the program list. And then I thought, okay, so it wouldn't work to clone because it was not a Windows operating system or not a full Windows operating system. So there were no virtual hard drive capabilities, etc., etc. But now I got access to it. What can I do with it? And then in part 2, I tried to smuggle in binaries and execute them on this container OS level. And that worked as well.
And that worked. And you use that to do what? Just to upload? Okay, so you're just uploading some binaries, and in they went.
Yeah, I just uploaded a Microsoft binary because I was in a Microsoft environment. I uploaded a little tool of sysinternals just to check some logs of the event viewer. And it worked. And then I thought, if I can get stuff in, can I also get stuff out? And that is part 3 of my series on this. And I found all kinds of interesting binaries with their PDBs sitting just next to them. And I thought, hey, that's interesting. Let's smuggle them out.
These are files that are kind of intended for debugging purposes, right? The PDBs,
yeah,
is that what they are?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. But since this container, this MI container, does not have access to the public PDB files,
yes,
it's impossible for a Microsoft developer who works on MI to debug this stuff. So I reached out to Microsoft with all my findings, and they said, those are PDBs, but those are not private PDBs. Those are public PDBs, which reside normally on a public website. And as a developer, you can use them to debug problems.
Yeah.
And since MI is separated or isolated, I must use the word isolated, they put the PDBs in the same isolation level, so they could run.
Okay, so they kind of had to be in there in this case. Yeah.
That's their version of my findings, and I have to say this, and I think they're absolutely right. I mean, PDBs are not a problem by default, but the problem is I shouldn't even see any of those files.
But this is it. Whether they should be there or not, well, why have you got access to them?
Well, that's
and how do you? Is that? I mean, you say right at the start that Microsoft, you're open with Microsoft. They didn't object to you publishing this series. Are they slightly concerned about any of the things you've raised?
Well, it somehow keeps them busy because I'm not the only person calling this in.
No.
There are other persons also poking around via the agent, because this is the whole secret. But it's not really a secret because they blocked XP underscore command shell to execute command level, operation level commands. But there's a task type within the SQL Server agent that can also execute command level, and that isn't blocked. And these findings I'm writing on will work on practically every SQL Server agent with too much privilege. So,
but that's the interesting bit, isn't it? Because I think you exploit that at some point to kill the SQL Server service, don't you?
Yeah, well, now you're spoiling one of the articles.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean. Am I giving away? I'm Tonie.
No, it's
I read the articles,
No, it's a good cliffhanger. Can I kill SQL Server?
Yeah, or did he?
Did he? Well, the conclusion and invitation for all: go get your own copy, or actually virtual copy service of this MI product for free, 12 months. Interesting. Play around with it. And if you like it,
do what you did. Yeah, explore. I think, I've never met a developer who wasn't curious about how this thing actually works under the hood.
yeah, that's what
They
we
don't
all
often
know,
write
right?
about it though. So it's you've taken the step of saying, okay, I'm going to write this down, send it to Microsoft, and share it. And people, I'm sure there is stuff they can learn about, and it'll give them a deeper understanding of what Azure SQL MI is and what it isn't.
Yeah,
So,
and it's an interesting offering between infrastructure as a service on the other hand, and the software as a service on the other end. And you just got some more control, maybe too much. Maybe
they're just a bit more control than you suspected.
But on the other hand, that control is already there if you give SQL Server Agent away. So you decide for yourself. Go to SQL Server Central, check out the articles, and do get this free offering while it lasts.
Yeah, check it out, and then give Tonie feedback.
So you can start a discussion on SQL Server Central.
Exactly right.
And let us know if you like that we stepped out of our comfort zone going to another blog. And if you have your own blog that you would like us to check it out, if it's database DevOps related.
If you think you've hit on an interesting topic that you think, well, you think we'd like to have a chat about, send us your ideas.
Of course. And while you're writing on your own blog, please consider writing for Redgate.
There you go. It's doing my job for me. Cheers, Tonie, mate.
So this was the special episode. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
See you next time.